All right, hello everybody. Cheers. I got my free 7-Eleven coffee. It's okay. Definitely tastes like 2% milk or something. So I'm drinking it slowly. But hello and welcome. Magic mushroom for you. Here's a little magic for your day. I just wanted to chat completely, honestly, freeform. I know. Oh, and at the top of the video, if you're feeling it, I'd appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. If you're feeling it, I don't want to force anyone or pressure anyone or whatever, but just, I'm trying to promote myself a little bit. And thank you so much for watching. But yeah, I just wanted to do a freeform video, even though I was gonna be doing more notes and stuff just today. Right now, I was like, let's just try to send it. Let's just try to get some stream of consciousness going on. I am fully dressed, but it's a little chilly. I have the window cracked because I need that fresh air. But it's like 60 something today, which is like, we're having like a couple of cool days before it goes up to like 80 on Thursday, I believe. But what can I say? So I have had an interesting morning. I've taken care of some business matters that I've needed to attend to. I watched Is It Cake? Even though I've already seen season 2, I'm like rewatching it, and I honestly forgot most of what happened. So it's so fun, and I think Mikey Day is so freaking funny. He's such an excellent host for the show. And it's just, actually, I'm gonna open that just a little bit. Okay. Actually, no, sorry. I'm like so indecisive. It's like kind of bright. Okay. But yeah, I watched Is It Cake, like a few episodes, and then I watched listened to the Red Table Talk with Jeanette McCurdy. I never usually watched like Red Table Talk or anything, but I've been really interested by Jeanette McCurdy lately. I've actually coincidentally been rewatching a lot of Nickelodeon shows. I rewatched all of Drake and Josh, all of iCarly, and then I started on Victorious, which it is fun to watch and it's cool. It's a little bit like, now I know that like, it's like, damn, like Jeanette was really going through all this shit while this was being filmed, and Drake Bell went through craziness, and of course, allegedly the creator of all these shows was just an inappropriate, like, weird guy. But yeah, so I've been interested in Jeanette McCurdy. Listened to her episode with Alex Cooper yesterday, and then the Red Table Talk today. And the Red Table Talk, the episode with Alex Cooper was really, really great. It was like 2 hours long. And then the Red Table Talk, just so much of what she was saying. For one, I feel like that's when she really, I hadn't heard, like, I knew that there was a lot of weird and crazy stuff, but if you go and watch the Red Table Talk, she reads passages from the book, some really key passages detailing some of the horrific abuse that she went through, and I feel like I really got a clear view into what she was dealing with, which sounds, oh my God, it like gives me the chills to think about. Just so horrific and disgustingly insane, and the fact that she's made it through, and it wrote a book, New York Times bestseller, and has a second one out now, also best-selling here and in the UK, or at least in England or something. Like, that is so incredible, and she's living her truth, and you can feel it now. And yeah, so I've been like just loving her lately. But at the end, there was they were talking about forgiveness. They had like a viewer question, and it had to do with like, oh, like, have you forgiven your mom, or like, are you in the process of that, or what does that look like for you? Of course, I'm majorly paraphrasing. And Jeanette said some stuff on that, and a therapist was there that spoke on that. And basically it was just about how you really can let go of feeling like you have to forgive someone, especially when they aren't changing, you know, like it was, yeah. And I know it's different because Jeanette's mom passed away and all that stuff, but what I took away from it was, you know, which I've heard before, but it literally just brought me to tears, and I like broke for a second, because I feel like I found myself still, and if you guys have been watching me, you know, like, I talk about my relationship with my mom all the time. It's been years. There's been a lot of progress and a lot of healing, but it's an ongoing journey. And I feel like I'm doing the best I've ever done mentally. And I feel like in the last 9 months since I've been out on my own and moved back to SoCal, I have proven myself in so many ways. Tried to feel like, okay, I want to move on. Like, I want to move on from still thinking about all these horrible things that happened and all of this sadness. And I've known that you don't have to forgive. Like, I heard that concept maybe at least 2 or 3 years ago, and I did resonate with that. But it just hit me again because I still feel a sense of guilt for walking away, and I'm not talking to my brother either. But I mean, I think this goes back to just, if you're anything like me, I guess this is what I just keep on fucking learning about myself, is I've just had a pattern of continuously prioritizing other people's feelings and emotions more than mine. So I still think about my extended family, like especially some of my aunts, or just not even, it's not even what people have said, because so many people in my family have been so kind and nice and supportive, but sometimes I still just feel this overhang of guilt, and like, I know they wish that things weren't this way, and I feel like maybe, you know, some of my family members wish that I would forgive my mom and that whatever. But I mean, 2026 is the year of literally just being yourself fully, balls to the walls, 1000%. And that's hard. It's hard to feel like I can't even imagine necessarily me, you know, like having these types of discussions with my family. And the thing is, I don't need to, but I felt like I need to, because I felt like I don't want to disappoint my aunts, uncles, and cousins, because I really don't see myself bringing my mom back into my life. And I literally, in my video called I'm Not Gonna Do It Anymore, I literally was like, I can never see my mom again for the rest of my life. That's the only way I'm gonna be able to do things. And there's been a few moments where I've been like, no, like, because that is just such a heavy thing to feel, because truly I felt like, and I still heavily agree with what I said, like, if my mom is in my life will be destroyed, because emotionally, if I tried to keep her in my life, it's just not possible at this point. I think I've done too much. I've grown too much. I've seen through too much. The things that she said and did still bring me to tears. And I hope, you know, as more time goes on and more time passes and I'm able to process more and I'm able to get more mental health help, like, I want to get to I'm like so distracted by stuff going on. Okay. I want to be able to get to a place where I am not brought to tears, you know, but like literally I just keep remembering all these things that happened, and I didn't express anger at the time because it wasn't safe for me to do that. But now as an adult, I'm fully like, fuck you. Like, and I kind of hesitate to say that because that's something my mom said to me once in a really sharp and cutting way. When I was in high school, she said that to me when I told her that she looked like her mom. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. But here's the thing, with the stuff that my mom has said and done and the way that she's treated me, completely disregarded my feelings, never given me a genuine apology, given me a couple I'm sorry type apologies, fake, hollow, no self-reflection involved, bullshit apologies. And she still thinks that I'm gonna keep her in my life, or that she deserves to have me in her life. She does not deserve to have me in her life. She does not. And so, you know, it's hard for me to say fuck you, you know, because I might say that in my mind privately, you know, but publicly it is hard. And publicly still there's like the fear and the stigma because so many people get it, and I'm trusting, you know, that all of you guys are gravitating here to me. But and this is why I'm just trying to like take some time off of social media and stuff, but there's still so many people out there who feel like that's your mom though, that's your mom, but that's your mom, how can you, but she tried her best, but you just don't get it, you don't know what it's like to be a mom. No, I don't, but I know that just because you're a mom, that doesn't mean you can treat your kids like shit, you know. And like, just because it wasn't what some people only consider it to be abuse if it was physical or sexual or being cussed at, you know. Like, besides that when she said fuck you, you know, I wasn't, you know, like cussed at, but it was mental abuse, and it was the things that she would say that were just fucking insane. You don't say that shit to your own kid. You don't, you know. And this is someone who clearly just isn't meant to be in my life. And yeah, I'm like, I would recommend checking out that video, if that sounds like something you're interested in. And I guess what I wanted to say is this is still an ongoing process and an ongoing journey. Those of us that are in a situation where we can't talk to our parents for whatever reason, and it's by a choice of choosing to protect ourselves, or if, God forbid, you're still in a situation where you have to live with a toxic parent or both of them, you know, like I hope and I trust that you're doing everything possible to manage and protect your energy in any way you can, because I had to move back in with my mom when I was like 23, after I had already been realizing all the shit, and I literally worked a graveyard shift job so that I would never be at home. Literally, like like when she would come home from work, I would still kind of be sleeping / getting ready for work, and then I would go to work. And then when I would come home, she would be like, getting ready to go to work, or she had already gone to work most of the time. Which should tell you a lot. The fact that I had to do that in order to protect myself, but like, fuck, like, but yeah, I just wanted to say that it's okay if you're taking your time. Like, this is an ongoing journey. Like, sometimes I get so just sad and upset and feeling like, for one I will say, and I noticed this like last week, I was like, I'm doing a lot better, because my mind used to be so consumed with thinking about my mom, especially when I was really cracking open this nut in like 2022, 2023. Like, of course there was stuff with my dad too, but my mom was my primary caregiver. I would say 75, 80%, 85%, you know, or of the work was done by my mom. Actually, yeah, no, it's definitely more like 85, 90. So of course my dad wasn't there for me in some ways, but you know what? That's a different conversation. And you know what? My dad gave me an honest and genuine apology. And yes, there was trauma that came from him, but my mom was what consumed my mind, because once I started seeing and realizing, wait, this wasn't okay. And like, once I had a therapist say to me that I was neglected and that what I experienced was a form of neglect, which that's something I could never possibly bring up with my mom. You know, that really changed the game for me. And I think there's some days where she's not really on my mind at all, you know, and I feel it. I can feel it in my body that I have a much stronger emotional distance from her. She's not there controlling me anymore. And that's the thing, is even when she wasn't in my life controlling me, even when I was in Long Beach and she was in Northern California, because she's my fucking mom, she's like the second voice in my head, you know what I'm saying? And I can say that she's not. I could say that things still come up, but it's okay. Like if it's taking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, I mean, Jeanette McCurdy is talking about this stuff, you know, and in the Red Table Talk, it was from at least a couple years ago, I think. And, you know, like she was 30 in that interview, and a lot of the key stuff, you know, that she was talking about was from much earlier, and it still was making her emotional, you know, after all that time. So I guess maybe it's also kind of strapping in to an extent and realizing, okay, there may not be some clear-cut ending that's like, okay, and I'm healed from the situation with my mom, like, especially because I've still had lingering thoughts of, should I try, you know, to get us both into therapy one day? Should I try that? And same thing with my brother. Like, that situation is different, but, you know, I know that at least right now, my mom and brother are more connected, and they live both like in the same area. And yeah, and I mean, I don't want to, it's very hard to think about never talking to someone again, or just the possibility of that is very difficult. But it all comes down to protecting myself, and we need to do what we need to do. Like, I love my dad, and now, you know, we're in a spot where, besides his apology, you know, that I got in a voicemail, and besides the conversation that I had with him where he apologized, and besides the letter that he sent me, handwritten letter with a full written apology saying that he reflected and thought about moments and he's sorry, and in conversations him telling me that it's an honor to have me in his life, that has provided me with true healing. He told me that it's an honor for me to be in his life, and he is so happy. And he was like, I understand if you need space, I understand if, you know, whatever. Like, even though we're talking again, like, he made it very clear that I get to be who I am, and that he wants to support me no matter what. And it was confusing because my mom seemingly supported me in more ways than my dad, even when my college situation was happening, which was super distressing and difficult. She was more the one to be like, oh, it's okay, like, I don't really care what you do, like, you know, I just want you to be okay or be happy, which sounds like something a great parent would say, right? But, you know, of course there's so much more than that. But yeah, Oh my gosh, I think I don't know if it's like the weed or what, like literally maybe it's the social media, like, or maybe I just need to trust myself more when I talk, because I feel like I've been losing my trains of thought so fucking easily. But anyways, the main thing that I wanted to say, or the main thing I wanted to convey, was just like, it's gonna be a process, and it's okay. And this is also just me fucking yapping, free-forming, getting my thoughts out, seeing who relates, doing the same thing I always do. But I hope you guys notice the growth. Like, if anyone's still watching, let me know if you've noticed the growth, because I was thinking about this somehow. I was like, oh, like, have I grown over the years? Like, I don't know what it was I was reading or listening to or watching that was like, some creators, like, you know, they post for years and they don't really grow or change, and like their audience changes. And I'm like, I hope that I'm growing and changing and not just like the same person that I was in my videos. Like, and you know what? I know that I'm not, but like, yeah, like, I just have to trust that the work that I'm putting in to myself is coming across, because that's what I really care about, you know. And I care about making connections and helping people to feel seen, because I spent so many years of my life feeling completely unseen and invisible at so many moments. I really want people who feel chronically unseen to feel like, even though I can't see you, I'm actually looking at my own face while I'm recording this. You know, if you watch or leave a comment or something, like, that's just, yeah, like, that's how I feel like I can contribute. Yeah. Let me think if I have any other topics. Look at this milk, like I feel like it doesn't taste bad, but it kind of tastes like dairy milk. Like when you leave a glass of milk out and it's no longer cold, so it's not that like crisp. Like, I feel like when I was young and I would drink milk, which would usually be fat-free milk, I only liked it when it was crisp, ice cold. And this is kind of tasting what milk tastes like when it's been sitting for like 15, like 20 minutes. So I don't think it's necessarily bad, but it's just like, that's what the taste is, and that's not a great taste. Like, I have not had a glass of dairy milk since I was a kid, but like, yeah, I remember. But yeah, is my knee distracting? Anger is still coming up. And also me knowing that it's okay for me to feel that anger is another major thing that I'm working on, because it's like the anger comes up. Like today, I was thinking about these things that she did. I don't know if I want to go into it, but just more neglect, and then kind of being like, oh, like, my bad, like, whatever, when I would kind of be like, this isn't okay. Like you were supposed to pick me up, you didn't answer your phone, I called you 9 times. And that was actually a full-blown trauma for me, and that was kind of one of the things that sparked my therapist into kind of, I guess, realizing that my mom was neglectful in some ways, which was that she would always pick me up late, no matter what, even when she wasn't working. And I always was like, oh, you know, my mom's like a single mom and she works at hard hours, and so I get it. But there was times when she wasn't working and she would still pick me up late, so late that I was the last one in like the pickup line out front at school, and they actually had to take me back into the office, and I was like the only kid still on campus. And that happened many, many times. And yeah, and then this one time in specific when she was supposed to pick me up from a tennis game, and I still don't know how she didn't get this, because it makes no sense to me. And I do want to talk to a therapist about this, and I hope that, you know, in a certain amount of years, I can come back on here and have like crystal clear, super cutting things to say. Not cutting in a mean way, but things that are gonna like help people cut through the noise in their own mind to be like, holy shit, like this is like what I needed to hear. So I want to do that for myself, but I also want to do that for you guys. But and I also am saying that because I feel like sometimes I talk about my traumas, and I never want to do that in a way that's going to be triggering for people, or in a way that's like ungrounded, and like, so I'm sorry in advance if I, you know, maybe carry that energy of just like talking about things. But the other thing in all of this, when you go through any type of trauma or abuse, whether it was from parents, family, a boyfriend, girlfriend, or a friend, is even if it happened 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, it's like, that doesn't mean you should be over it. That's just like the whole thing that I'm saying. But let me finish the story. I said I wasn't good. I said I didn't know if I wanted to share, but we're sharing. Yeah, like, so I was supposed to get picked up from a tennis match. We're on the way back in the bus with like one of my girlfriends who was on the team with me, and like the other girls, and it's dark out. And when we're like 20 minutes away from the school, you know, the coach is like, okay guys, like call your parents. And I call my mom, and this is something that I've done way too many times. This is something I can remember doing so often, just calling her, like, where are you? And that feeling to me is kind of like one of the hallmarks of my childhood, you know, and just feeling so distressed, like, where are you? Why aren't you picking up? I used to call my mom, like, whenever she would be late to pick me up at the after school program. And mind you, I would call my mom because it's not just like it would happen. It's not just like it happened once or twice throughout the year. But anyways, let me focus on this story. But yeah, so I called her, I think 9 times. She didn't pick up. So my friend, fortunately, and it was dark. If she didn't pick up and my friend wasn't able to take me home for some reason, I literally would have been at the school in the dark until probably way later. You know, it must have been in the fall or something, because I don't think it was like 9 p.m., but it might have been like a 6 p.m. darkness. And we lived in a town where it would have taken me hours to walk home, and she probably would have been mad at me if I walked home. You know, she would have probably been like, that's not safe. But yeah, so my friend who lived right across the street from the school, you know, got her mom to drive me like 2-3 miles across town to drop me off. I knock on the door. The door is locked. And my mom's like, oh. And she's hanging out with her boyfriend, who I'd never met before. And that, you know, there's so much that happened when she was in her relationship with that guy, and she always blamed it on me. Like, why do you hate him? Like, why do you hate him? Like, I was gonna give like a fake name, but my mom's dated and been with so many guys to the point of like engagement that the fake name I was gonna give, I was like, oh wait, no, that was a name of another guy. Like, like, but yeah, that, like, and I still feel like almost I don't deserve to feel bad about that, you know, because in that moment, of course, she played it off and was like, oh, I didn't think that you were gonna be here till this time or whatever. And it's like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? I'm calling you. Like, why isn't your phone available? You've picked me up from all these other tennis matches before. Like, you are fully in La La Land, delusional. And of course, you know, no apology or accountability, you know, or at least I don't remember her apologizing to me. And if it was probably a weak apology, and it didn't matter because of all of the shit was just stacked up on top of each other. All of her betrayal towards me. My mom has betrayed me. She has. Her treatment is a form of betrayal and neglect. And I'm 25. I started decoding my parents' stuff when I was like 20 or 21. I knew things weren't feeling right before. Like with my dad, I always felt like this pressure, like I hated the way I felt when I had to talk to him, because it always just felt like, you know, are you doing good enough this time? Are you on track? Or like it was just this harshness that I didn't understand. And my mom was always more of the safe and comfortable one, you know, like, but yeah, like, I remember there was a time when I realized both of them. I was like, I was very angry with them. It just kind of started hitting me, I guess, when I was finally safe to feel those feelings. But yeah, I'm here now, and I've learned quite a bit. So yeah, I don't even want to get off of this. I don't want to end this video. I don't necessarily want to keep drinking this weird milk coffee. I just like want the caffeine. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I do feel like I am doing better than ever, but it still is rocky. It's a rocky road over here. Like, it's great. It's getting better and better, but yeah, so I don't know. I don't really think I'm gonna have a super clean way to tie this video up with a little bow. Like, I don't know if I see that happening right now. But yeah, if I have more ideas that come to mind, I'll definitely post another video today. But yeah, I love you. Thank you for watching. Toodles.